We're set to begin, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rainbow District School Board regular board meeting of October 25th, 2022. I'd like to remind everybody that we are being live streamed. Also, that the Rainbow District School Board would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Anishinaabeg, including the Atikamekw and Anishinaabeg and Wahnapitae nations. We would like to acknowledge that we are situated within the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850 and want to recognize the inherent rights of the Anishinaabeg that maintain these lands from time immemorial. Roll call, Director.
Trustee Dubosky,
Present.
Trustee St. Jean,
Present.
Trustee Gibson,
Present.
Trustee Cosmerly,
Present.
Trustee Morrison,
Present.
Trustee Dewar,
Present.
Trustee Hunda,
Present.
Trustee Stringer,
Present.
Trustee Clement,
Present.
Student Trustee Kunze,
Present.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
Present.
All present.
Thank you, Director. First on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. We have a motion that the agenda for the regular board meeting of October 25th, 2022 be approved. I need a mover, please. I see Carrie St. Jean. Seconder, please. Trustee Cosmerly. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Dubosky,
In favor.
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor.
Trustee Morrison,
In favor.
Trustee St. Jean,
In favor.
Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Kunze,
In favor.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you. We go to B, preliminary declaration of pecuniary interests. I see none. Presentations, we have none. D, report from the report from the in-camera committee of the whole meeting of the board. And Director, I don't think we have any. Nope. Sorry if I make a little mistake here and there. I was on the chainsaw all afternoon, so I'm a little bit tired. Number one, previous meeting minutes. We have a motion that the minutes of the board meeting held on Tuesday, September 27th, 2022 be approved. Mover, please. Trustee Morrison. And a seconder. Trustee Gibson. Poll vote, please. Oh, 1 second, there's a question.
Thank you, Chair Clement.
Yes.
Sorry, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Just wanted to bring your attention, and I send this out where it says that I presented the following motions, but it was a notice of motion. So
Yes.
it's just a couple of words left out. So could I move to amend the minutes to add those words?
Yes, you can do that.
Thank you.
Okay, as amended. Any questions to the amendment? Okay, so now we have that the minutes of the board held on Tuesday, September 25th be approved with as amended. So we have a mover and a seconder. Poll vote, please. Oh, 1 second. Trustee Morrison.
I will move as amended if you'd like, Chair.
Well, we have to start over again. Yes, you're right. Okay, Trustee Morrison as amended, and Trustee Gibson, you seconded before. Okay. Now we can do a poll vote, please.
Trustee Colon,
In favor?
Trustee DeBoski,
In favor.
Trustee Dewar,
Opposed.
Trustee Gibson,
Sorry, Trustee Gibson, correct?
yes.
Yep.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor.
Trustee Morrison,
In favor.
Trustee St. Jean, Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Quincy,
In favor.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Number two, number two, tenders request for proposals. We have none. Reports and recommendations from board committees. We have none. We have A, governance policy update. I is a motion that the changes as outlined on policy number governance 01, vision, mission, values, and as amended be approved. Mover, please. Trustee Cosmerly. Seconder. Trustee DeBoski. Any questions? I see none. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Colon,
In favor?
Trustee DeBoski,
In favor.
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson, Trustee Gibson, Trustee Hunda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor.
Trustee Morrison,
In favor.
Trustee St. Jean, Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Quincy,
In favor.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
In favor.
Try one more time for Trustee Gibson. Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Second motion that the changes as outlined in policy number governance 03, role of the Board of Trustees as amended be approved. Mover, please. A mover, please. Trustee Cosmerly. A seconder, please. Trustee Dewar. Any questions? I see none. A poll vote, please, Director.
Chair Clement.
No.
Sorry, it's Trustee Gibson. Can you hear me?
No, we can now. Have you been having trouble with your computer?
Yeah, I got, it just disconnected me. So sorry, I've come back in on the phone. I'm going to keep trying to connect on the computer, but I'm just not sure exactly where we are. I didn't know what you did while I was gone. So can you just let me know
Okay.
where we're up to? Thank you.
We're up to 2E, the motion that the changes as outlined on policy governance 03, role of the Board of Trustees has been amended, moved by Trustee Cosmerly and seconded by Trustee Dewar, and we're doing a poll vote.
Okay, I would like to move an amendment.
Okay.
Sorry, just so I understand, we're on B, which is the changes as outlined in Governance Bylaw 3, Organizational Meeting Point 3.1 as amended be approved. Is that the item?
No, that's not it. No.
Oh, okay. So we're on the previous one?
You know, governance, well, if you got your sheet there, governance policy updates. And right after that, we did a motion.
So
Number
there's
one. And now we're
One
into
and
motion- Now we're into motion II.
Okay, perfect. So I don't have a question about that, so please go ahead with the vote.
Oh, okay. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor?
Trustee Dubosky,
In favor.
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor?
Trustee Cosmley,
In favor.
Trustee Morrison,
In favor.
Trustee St. Jean, Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Kunze,
In favor.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Now we get to B, governance bylaws updates. We have a motion that the changes as outlined in governance bylaw 3, organizational meeting, point 3.1 as amended be approved. I need a mover, please. Trustee Cosmerly. A seconder. Trustee Gibson is back. Yeah, Gibson. Okay. Any questions? Trustee Gibson.
I would. Oh,
Sorry,
Sorry.
I've got to hang up the phone because we've got feedback. Hopefully, please. And the wording of the amendment is that the changes to governance bylaw 3 organizational meeting as amending being approved. 3.1, in a municipal election year, the board shall hold its inaugural organizational meeting not later than 7 days after the day on which the term of office of the board commences. So I would like to move that amendment, please, to strike out what's there now and replace it with that.
You're on mute, Bob.
As a friendly amendment,
Yes, please, Chair Clement.
that the changes outlined and with the changes, and we need a mover for the amendment, and it would be you, Trustee Gibson.
Yes.
And we need a seconder, please. Do we have a seconder for the changes as amended to this motion?
Chair Clement, I have my hand up.
Who's that? Oh, Linda, sorry. I can't see everybody. That's Trustee Dubosky. Go ahead.
I'll second that amendment.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we'll move ahead then with this here as amended. So we'll vote on that piece first. So a poll vote, Director.
I think you have some
Oh.
questions first, Chair
Was there a
Clement.
question, Trustee Dewar?
Thank you very much. I won't be voting in favor of the amendment simply because while those words come from the Education Act, they are only part of a sentence. And I kind of feel it gives the wrong impression if we use just a part of the sentence rather than including the whole item. And the second part of that same sentence that addresses 7 days says that failing such determination, the meeting is held at 8 p.m. at the head office of the board on the first Wednesday following the commencement of the term of office. And then it goes on and it says, or despite that whole section, on the petition of a majority of the members of a newly elected or appointed board, the appropriate supervisory officer may provide for calling the first meeting of the board at some other time and some other place. So it kind of gets a little bit complicated to present as part of our policy to state that only one part of that whole section applies to our board. So I really don't feel that I will support that amendment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Dewar. Any more questions on that amendment? We can go Trustee Honda.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I'm struggling a bit myself because I just find myself wondering why. Like, this is generally, I don't know, the elections are generally around the same time. This is our October meeting. I guess I'm just, I don't understand the purpose of it, and it would therefore, I would need to take a good look at the context before and after and understand why the suggestion is being made. So I don't think that I can vote in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Trustee Gibson.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Just if I could offer a comment in regard to Trustee Hunda's comments that might help her understand. So the Municipal Elections Act was updated and the term was changed. So the term of office starts on the 15th of November this year. And as you heard from Trustee Dewar, the Education Act, of course, covers every scenario. And of course, we are governed by that. None of our bylaws can overrule the Education Act. So I didn't feel the need to put in every single scenario. In most usual years, we will set the date and we know the parameters have to be within a certain time frame. So that's the language from the Education Act. But the 15th of November date, that's not from me, that's from the Municipal Elections Act. So we don't have a choice. Our new term must start within those parameters. So our current bylaw says our meeting will be held in December each year, but we can't do that because it won't be conform to the parameters. So I hope that helps. Thank you.
Trustee Cosmely.
Now I'm unclear, sorry, because I thought the change we were proposing was that the annual organizational meeting will be held as per the terms of office outlined in the Municipal Elections Act. There is no date. So I'm surprised that there's a December date being brought up because this whole change is to reflect the Municipal Act. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Trustee Dewar. Your sound, Trustee Dewar.
Thank you very much, Trustee Cosmely. That was the only thing I was going to point out. Chair Clement, the amendment is not to the original suggestion. We amended the original reference to December. We amended that at the Strategic Planning Committee meeting. It was discussed and approved and sent forward to the regular meeting. So the motion as it stands now reads, according to something about as per the Municipal Elections Act. And we talked about it at the Strategic Planning Committee meeting, and we felt, that was kind of a general thing that covered all the bases. If you follow the Municipal Elections Act, then you have to have it within the certain time period. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. Trustee Morrison.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I too, now I'm confused. And even after listening, I felt one way and then I've changed my mind now a couple of times. So before we do a final full vote, can I ask you, Chair Clement, to read again what we're voting on? No mic, Bob.
Oh, geez, sorry. Bad habit too. Yes, I'll ask Trustee Gibson to read the as amended piece, please. You're not coming through on your microphone.
I would like to hear it in its entirety, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Trustee Hunda. Me too. I don't know what I'm voting on now. Thank you.
So
Okay.
sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
My connection is in and out. I'm going to leave my camera off. See if
Okay,
that
just
helps.
read the whole thing in its entirety.
Oh, hang on. I think I'm in twice. I'm just going to try and log out of this one. No, maybe if I. All right. So sorry, there may be some feedback. Oh, hang on. I'm going to try one thing. Okay,
Coming in
is that
clear
better?
right now.
Okay, I think that's better. Sorry about that. I'm having trouble hearing other people as well, so I don't know if it's my connection or what's going on. But I shall.
Yeah,
try
your
and
connection
go
is
ahead.
going. Your connection is going in and out.
Okay.
Okay, could you read the whole thing in its entirety and the change that you want to make?
I can. So to strike out what is currently there and replace it with that the changes to Governance Bylaw 3 organizational meeting as amended be approved. 3.1 in a municipal election year, the board shall hold its inaugural organizational meeting not later than 7 days after the day on which the term of office of the board commences.
Okay.
So if I could just add that the current wording that says as per the Municipal Elections Act, what's written in the agenda, the Municipal Elections Act does not speak to organizational meetings. They are never mentioned. It speaks to terms of office. It is the Education Act that speaks to when we have our organizational meetings. So that's where the language is from. The term of office would be decided by the Municipal Elections Act, and that may change in the future.
Oh, you cut out again.
If it did, we would not have to update this bylaw because it would conform to whatever the term was. So that's why it's simple and general. If a more complicated issue does arise, then we defer to the Education Act. So thank you.
Okay, if that's clear to everybody, Trustee Morrison.
Very brief comment. Thank you, Chair Clement. I see some of that and I support it. I understand and I appreciate the explanation, Trustee Gibson. But I probably will be voting against this because I think it's redundant. I think we always follow the law, whether that's the Municipal Act or the Education Act. That's the overriding statements to all of our policy statements is that we follow the law. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? We have to go by the original also where we had brought this to strategic planning
Sure.
and we had
Come on.
amended it. We had amended it there. So,
Chair Clement, I'm sorry.
Trustee DeBoski, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. If you will indulge my comments, I do understand this has become, I think, an unnecessarily complex matter. I did review the Education Act as well, and I thank Trustee Doer for speaking to that as well. But as the Act is written under Section 2.8, subsection 2, it states a board that is elected at a regular election under the Municipal Elections Act and a board that is appointed or elected other than at a regular election under the Municipal Elections Act shall hold its first meeting not later than 7 days after the day on which the term of office of the board commences on such a date and at such time and place as the board determines. And failing such determination at 8 p.m. at the head office of the board on the first Wednesday following the commencement of the term of office. So the way I understand it is that the term of office commences on November 15th, correct?
Yes.
So it says 7 days from November 15th, correct?
Yes.
So the original motion, and this is with all due respect to my colleagues, the original motion says the annual organizational meeting of the board in a municipal election year will be held on the first day in December. So I do appreciate the concerns around the difference between a first meeting, as it states in the Education Act, versus an organizational meeting. However, that being said, 7 days after the 15th is November 22nd, correct?
Yes.
So if we're having the first meeting or even an organizational meeting in December, would that not be in violation of the act?
Director?
Given the current timelines for the election, a meeting in December as the first organizational meeting would be in violation of the act.
So
Trustee,
that being said, I do and continue to support the amendment. I think it provides clarity and is broad enough to respect any elections following under the Municipal Act going forward. Thank you.
thank you. I see. I had Trustee Morrison first, and Cosmoline Dewar.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I'll give up my spot. I saw Trustee Cosman's had her hand up for a while, and then I saw Trustee Dewar before myself. Thank you.
Trustee Cosmoline.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate again that the original amendment that we were looking at did not include on the first Monday in December. That piece is in the original amendment that we are looking at. So when we first got this piece, what was presented to us as an amendment was the annual organizational meeting of the board in a municipal election year will be held as per the terms of office outlined in the Municipal Elections Act 1996. That's what we had agreed was going to be the amendment prior to Trustee Gibson presenting another amendment. So we are not, just to be clear, this first Monday in December, I think everyone recognized, because we're now looking at a November date for the term ending, that was out the window, period. Just wanted to re-clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Dewar.
Yeah, just to clarify, and then I'm gonna just say call the vote, and but anyway, this is the problem we've got, Chair Clement, in that the current motion that that the board has before it, the one that's on the table already, which you asked if Trustee Gibson's motion was a friendly amendment. It's not a friendly amendment, because the current motion on the board was sent to all of our employees and sent to principals and so on as a notice of motion. And that motion states, the annual organizational meeting of the board in a municipal election year will be held as per the Municipal Educations Act 1996. That's the motion that's on the floor right now. And the motion that Trustee Gibson has made doesn't amend that motion. It makes a whole new motion. But as I say, I can certainly understand, and I accept your explanation, Trustee Dubosky, that it's a tomato or a tomato. If you want to look at it that way, then fine. As I said, it's unfortunate we have only part of what is contained in the actual section of the act. And secondly, you have to understand that when you vote, It is not an amendment. The motion that is currently on the floor states as per the Municipal Elections Act. Thank you very much. I will not speak again. Thank you.
Trustee Morrison.
Very briefly, I think we're all agreeing. We're just trying to work towards clarity, and there's no real conflict here. But I still stick to my overall point here, which is we follow the law. Whether that's the Municipal Act or the Education Act, we follow the law. We always have, and we always will. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Gibson.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Regarding the December date, sorry, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Regarding the December date, I think part of the confusion is because while I do agree with Trustee Dewar that what was sent out, what I believe was sent out was the annual organizational meeting of the board in a municipal election year will be held as per the Municipal Elections Act 1996. But if you look at our current agenda, the part held on the first Monday in December, I think it's supposed to be struck out, but it almost looks like it's underlined. So maybe some people thought that language was still in there. I'm not sure. I just thought that may have accounted for some of the confusion. But despite that, I just wanted to reiterate, the Municipals Election Act does not speak to when annual organizational meetings will be held. It only speaks to terms of office. And in the amendment, I do point out that it's the inaugural organizational meeting. So there was, I think Trustee DeBasque mentioned that in the Education Act, it uses the word first. So all I did was switch out first for inaugural. So that wording is still in there. So I think it's compliant with the Education Act. Putting as per Municipal Elections Act, you can read that whole act and you won't find out when your organizational meeting should be held. It won't tell you. You would have to find the term of office, which it does state, the 15th of November. Then you would have to go to the Education Act and see what it says about organizational meetings, the inaugural meeting being held around the term of office. So regarding the friendly or non-friendly amendment, when I presented this last week as a notice of motion, I believe Trustee Dewar told me that I should present it as an amendment. So now I'm presenting it as a friendly amendment, and I'm being told it should be a notice of motion. So I just really, I'm happy to go to the vote, or I'd just like some clarity because it's getting very confusing. And I just see this as a very simple issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gibson. I think, yeah, what we have here is wordsmithing. So we're going to get this right. Where we are right now is with this amendment. So either we vote on this amendment and decide on what we want to do, and then we move on to the motion itself. So if I don't see any more questions, Director, could you do a poll vote on this amendment, please?
Trustee Clement.
I'm going to abstain.
Trustee DeBasque.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
Opposed.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
I'm going to abstain too.
Trustee Cosway.
Opposed.
Trustee Morrison.
Opposed?
Trustee St. Jean. Trustee Stringer.
Opposed.
Student Trustee Quincy.
Opposed.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
Opposed.
Director?
Motion's defeated.
Okay. So then we go back then to the original motion that the changes as outlined in Governance Bylaw 3, Organizational Meeting, Part 3.1, as amended, be approved. I think we had a mover on that and a seconder already. Do you want to do that again? Mover originally was Trustee Cosmley and the seconder was Trustee Gibson. Poll vote, please. Or any other questions? Hang on one second. Trustee Cosmely.
Can you just read the motion so that we know what we're voting on before we vote on this?
The original motion. That the changes as outlined in Governance Bylaw 3, Organizational Meetings, Part 3.1 or Point 3.1, as amended, be approved. And that you had moved that, Trustee Cosmely, and seconded by Trustee Gibson. Now we require a poll vote, please.
Chair Clement, I think Trustee Cosmely has her hand up.
Oh,
Sorry, I guess I wasn't clear. What is the 3.1 that we're voting on, just so that we're clear on that? Thank you.
Your mic is off.
you have a director to read it? I don't have the whole thing here.
So as per the backup, it's page 3 of 23 in terms of the governance bylaws. The change that's on our record is the wording that continues is the annual organizational meeting of the board in a municipal election year will be. What's struck out after that is held on the first Monday in December, so that's struck out, and what's added, it is held as per the Municipal Elections Act 1996. So I'll read the whole thing without the section struck out. The annual organizational meeting of the board in a municipal election year will be held as per the Municipal Elections Act 1996.
Thank you, Director. Does that answer any of your own questions? Yes, it does. Trustee DeBossigi.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I do have a question in terms of the language as per the Municipal Elections Act. So as it relates to that sentence, and I truly am not trying to be problematic in this question. It's helping me understand where in the Municipal Elections Act empowers 3.1. Because we're referencing the Municipal Elections Act. So the annual organizational meeting of the board in a municipal election year will be held as per the Municipal Elections Act. So when we use the language as per, that means pursuant to the Municipal Elections Act. So therefore, is there a space in the Municipal Act where it either supersedes the Election Act or makes reference to an organizational meeting?
Director, do you have an answer for that?
I guess more of a question first. Are we suggesting that we add as per the Municipal Elections Act and as per the Education Act? Is that the question, or is the question where is it found? I do not have the Municipal Elections Act in front of me.
Trustee Morrison.
I was just going to make my own comment on that. Would be that our intent here is to meet the requirements of both acts. So I don't think we need to list them separately, but I appreciate the comment, Trustee DeBossigi, because yes, that doesn't determine the inaugural meeting for sure. What it determines is the term of office, right? And that's it. So that's why we're referencing it, is because both things, the Education Act and the Election Act, both of them empowers us to proceed in our term of office. Thank you.
Thanks for clearing that up. Trustee Cosmely.
Then maybe I would like to propose a friendly amendment to add the Municipal Elections Act and the Education Act, just so we're covering off all of our bases. Because I agree with Trustee Morrison. This was originally to deal with the term of office, which is explained in the Municipal Act. And as you indicated, Trustee DeBossigi, it has nothing to do, and as Trustee Gibson said, it has nothing to do with when we hold our meeting. The Education Act says that. So maybe I'll propose a friendly amendment then to add and the Education Act and whatever the year is.
Act. Thank you. Trustee DeBossigi.
Thank you, Chair Clement. So I understand the intent because we speak together as colleagues around this table and we're responsible for our governance documents. However, the intent is not clear in the language in relation to term of office. So I completely understand that. I completely accept that for sure. But if the intent was around the term of office, maybe that language needs to be more clear because this speaks to an organizational meeting. And I'm not, I truly do respect the comments of my colleagues for sure. And I appreciate this healthy debate so we can get things right. And so I think I'll just leave my comments there. And I do agree with Trustee Cosmerly. Miigwech. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Morrison.
Thank you, Chair Clement. One other brief comment. I too agree with Trustee Cosmely's last statement, so thank you. And I will go back to something I said earlier. Although I do think it's redundant because we operate within the law, whatever laws apply. For clarity purposes, I would agree with Trustee Cosmely's suggestion. Thank you. And that's more clarity, not internally. That's clarity for the public. Thank you.
Yeah, Trustee Doer.
Second the amendment.
Thank you very much. So we have a mover by Trustee Cosmely and a seconder, Trustee Doer, on the amendment of adding Education Act to this motion. So, could somebody just read it again for me, please, just for clarity? Go ahead, Trustee Bourget. I mean, Trustee. Whoa, Director Bourget.
Just to assist in the process, I believe what's on the floor, and Trustee Cosmely, please don't hesitate to correct me, but the amendment that now stands is, and I'll read the full piece, combining what's originally there in the amended language. The annual organizational meeting of the board in the municipal election year will be held as per the Municipal Elections Act and the Education Act.
That sound okay to everybody? Okay. So we have a mover and a seconder, and now we'll have a poll vote on the amended motion. Director?
Trustee Clement?
I'm going to abstain again. Thank you.
Trustee Dabowski?
In favor.
Trustee Doer?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
Opposed.
Trustee Hunda?
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor.
Trustee Morrison?
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean? Trustee Stringer?
In favor.
Student Trustee Kunze?
In favor.
Student Trustee Trudeau?
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, everybody. That was a good debate. We move on to new business, and we don't have any. First of all, let's see. Well, after we have number one, yes.
Chair Clement.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I am having connection problems, so I may have missed it. But didn't you just vote on the amendment? Don't you have to vote on the main motion? Sorry, can you hear me? No, okay.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't talking. Sorry, I was off again. No, I think that was, we just voted on the amendment to that motion.
Yes. So don't we have to vote on the motion now?
That's all part of it, I think.
No,
No.
you have to vote on the motion.
Okay.
That was just the amendment. Now we have to
That's
vote
just
on
the
the
amendment,
motion
okay.
as amended.
Okay, step 2. Do we need a mover here and a seconder again? Or do we use Trustee Cosmely and Trustee Gibson from the original?
The original is fine.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, so then we need a poll vote on the motion. Director?
Trustee Clement?
Abstain.
Trustee Dabowski?
In favor.
Trustee Doer?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
I'll abstain.
Trustee Hunda,
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean, Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Quincy,
In favor.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Super weird.
Thank you for that. I think I got all kinds of writing and tickies. I think we got it all in there now. So in the new business, number 1, 2022-2023 school year update director.
Thank you, Chair Cologne. Trustees, I welcome this opportunity to provide an update on the implementation of strategic directions. As you know, this is the compass that guides our work. It outlines our vision, mission, values, and priorities as we commit to succeed together. Under Truth and Reconciliation, I'd like to share that on September 30th, we joined together to mark the second National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It was a time to acknowledge the survivors of residential schools, and many had the courage to share their stories and the conviction to speak their truth. It was also a time to remember the children who never came home. We observed a moment of silence in our schools, and we flew our flags at half-mast. We came together to wear orange as a symbol of our individual and collective commitment to reconciliation. At the Center for Education, the day began with a sunrise ceremony. I'd like to thank Hazel Fox Recollet for her leadership in making this morning meaningful and memorable and educational for the many staff members who joined us that morning. It was a crisp, clear morning, and we gathered on the grounds at 408 Wembley, and as we watched the sun come up, we embraced the significance of the day as we moved forward on our path for truth and reconciliation. The ceremony was led by Anishinaabe traditional advisor, Mr. Gerard Sagasage, who is a member of Curved Lake First Nation. We also had the very distinct privilege of welcoming Elder Martina Ozawamek, who shared her experience with us. Originally from the Quimacong First Nation, Elder Martina is a survivor of the Spanish residential school. In her resilience and determination, she is a keeper of Anishinaabewin, and she has reclaimed her way of life as an Anishinaabekwe. Some staff members brought their children, and they were invited to assist with parts of the ceremony. The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation reaffirms and reinforces the importance of truth and reconciliation, a commitment to action, a plan we adopted as a board. The plan is dedicated to the former students of Canada's residential schools experience, the survivors, and the many men and women, the elders, including those who have passed into the spirit world, whose traditional territory we now call home. On National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, we honored the many little ancestors, children who never came home, to their families and communities from residential schools. We honored the survivors as well as their families who have been able to share their story about this tragic and painful experience in Canadian history. We looked upon them as esteemed heroes for all their helping us understand that every child matters and every child should be cherished for who they are. And some of these photos were taken at Princess Anne Public School. In addition, some 700 students from Rainbow Schools spent the day at Bell Park for a morning of learning and listening on September 30th. The event was presented by the Indigenous Community Collective to commemorate the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Classes from Sudbury Secondary School also gathered at Nswakamok Native Friendship Center to accompany supporters and community members in an organized walk to Bell Park in honor of the residential school survivors. Following the walk, students convened in the Grace Hartman Amphitheater to watch the play, which was called Truth. This special performance was created just for this event. Our journey continues towards truth and reconciliation and continues to evolve. Central Manitoulin Public School and Manitoulin Secondary School have received a grant from David Suzuki Foundation to create green spaces dedicated to reconciliation. The David Suzuki Foundation is supporting the projects in partnership with the National Healing Forest Initiative. The local projects are among 16 being funded across Canada this year. The Central Manitoulin Public School Wellness Orchard in Mindamoya will encompass a fruit orchard and garden that will provide opportunities for students to connect with nature. The Healing Forest will occupy a prominent place at Manitoulin Secondary School in Chiging. Both schools have a significant population of Indigenous students, and this will be greatly appreciated. The David Suzuki Foundation says individuals and communities are coming together to dedicate green spaces and to educate people about Canada's tragic past and to offer a chance to begin their own personal journey towards reconciliation. Rainbow District School Board has partnered with the Robinson Huron Treaty Organization for a day of education on Wednesday, November 9th to coincide with Treaties Recognition Week that begins November 6th to 12th. Our staff has arranged to have some chiefs of our First Nations connect with classes virtually to answer questions from students and to highlight the critical importance of treaties, including what they are, what they mean, and what the ongoing work looks like for everyone, as we are all treaty people. During our Professional Activity Day on September 24th, Kevin Lamoureux shared a model of positive youth development with us known as the Circle of Courage. And I only share some of these details as an ally, as some of the things that I learned that day. The model he shared was first described in the book Reclaiming Youth at Risk, co-authored by Larry Bentro, Martin Brokenleg, and Stephen Van Brockrum. Kevin shared some key points about belonging. That's part of the circle. He shared pieces for us that we'll forever remember in terms of quite an educational experience that day, such as a school does not become a community, no matter how beautiful it is, until it's filled with healthy relationships. And those relationships that are healthy include with students and also with caring adults. He also shared that when we give some students something new to experience, it's easier for them to bond when they're safely outside their comfort zone, and reinforce that students are healthiest outdoors with Mother Nature. With regard to mastery, Kevin taught us that every student needs to feel good at something of social importance to them. He also emphasized the value of trades, the value of skills beyond academics, and the value of extracurricular activities, and reinforced that we all have multiple intelligences. In terms of independence, Kevin taught us about the importance of advocating for students to gain power of oneself, to have power within, to know that they can say yes or no, and not be taken advantage of, to know their own worth and that they are worthy, to know they can walk away and choose to walk away from negativity. Questioned us to think about how we nurture independence, and talked about the differences between punishment and discipline, and how we can support students on their journey of learning. In terms of generosity, Kevin reminded us that what this truly means is what it means to be a human being. And he reminds us that all children are born with an innate desire to give something back. He spoke to us about communal spirit and our ability to work together, and about giving of ourselves, seeing new accomplishments, new outcomes, new opportunities to give back, to help each other, and to look after each other, and the importance of providing hope, making a positive contribution, and contributing to a safe place. I'd like to return to the values that we have adopted as a board. On your screen, you'll see the 7 grandfather teachings: humility, bravery, honesty, wisdom, truth, respect, and love, braided together with resilience, equity, and community. To launch the school year, we focused on community, and our schools do an amazing job of demonstrating what community actually means to them. And this is evident in many school community partnerships that are always a source of pride and celebration to us. The following examples of community partnerships are not new initiatives in every case. So in some cases, they are the continuation of long-standing traditions as everyone in the school community comes together to work towards common goals. For example, the entire LaSalle Secondary School community rallied together to blaze trails for fitness at Finlandia. This year's fundraiser included a fall carnival, the annual Sisu Family Walk, a silent auction, and donations from family, friends, and Finlandia staff raising $30,000 to support fitness and wellness. Over 150 people gathered on September 24th for a 7-kilometer walk from the school to Finlandia Village, and to date, LaSalle's leadership efforts have generated more than $130,000 to support gardening projects and fitness initiatives at the village. Donations will continue to support future outdoor walking trails and equipment, including self-directed exercise stops and more outdoor equipment to enhance physical benefits of exercise while walking the trails. This is an example of our community partnerships. And Finlandia has enjoyed a long-standing partnership with LaSalle, which began in 2007 with the launch of the Intergenerational Memoirs Writing Program. And that program fosters cooperation, collaboration, understanding, positive interactions, and fellowship while bridging gaps between generations. Also, in terms of community, throughout September and October, students in Rainbow Schools supported the Terry Fox Foundation. Terry Fox runs are held annually in communities across Canada to raise funds for cancer research. In the 21-22 school year, more than $26,000 was collected through school-based events. And over the years, Rainbow Schools have raised an incredible $963,000 to help achieve Terry's vision of a world without cancer. A.B. Ellis, in particular, marked its 40th walk or run for Terry Fox this year, and that school alone has raised more than $400,000 in support of Terry's dream. At Lockerbie Composite School, the tradition continues of kids caring for kids by fundraising for the Pediatric Oncology Program of the Northeastern Cancer Center at Health Sciences North. Door-to-door canvassing will take place October 27th, beginning at 5 p.m. This year marks the 26th anniversary of the drive in memory of former student Laura Catesta, who started the campaign while attending the school and fighting her own battle with cancer. Staff and students have kept Laura's memory alive by fulfilling her dream and honoring her legacy. Since the drive's inception, Lockerbie Composite School has raised very close to $1 million for pediatric cancer care in the north. Shifting again as our weather gets cooler, Rainbow Schools once again have helped make our coldest season a little warmer by participating in the winter clothing drive powered by Cooper Equipment Rentals. KISS 105.3 was live on location at Algonquin Public School on October 14th to promote the drive. Clothing is being redistributed by Our Children, Our Future and other agencies within Greater Sudbury and Espanola areas. Since the program's inception, close to 100,000 clothing items have been provided to children and families. Rainbow Schools have contributed thousands of items to this incredible total over the past 8 years. Our secondary students are also helping out with this year's campaign, and more than 300 volunteer hours will be logged by the end of the month. So here's what it looked like at Algonquin Road Public School.
Good morning, Tigers. Happy Friday to everybody. Hope everybody has a great day today. I'm here with Miss Lacko, who's taped to our school gymnasium. Great job, Tigers, gathering winter clothing items. Please continue to encourage the community to bring items to the drops at Canadian Tire. We're also gathering items all next week. So if you have the chance to bring some items into the school for the winter clothing drive, fantastic. I have to personally thank Miss Lacko. She has spearheaded this for me. She's done an amazing job. A true attitude of gratitude. Thank you, Miss Lacko. Hope everybody has a fantastic day today. Can't wait to see you around the school and have a good weekend. Big high five. 1, 2, 3. High five.
So that was Algonquin live on location. We also know that KISS 105 was also live on location at Carl A. Nesbitt Public School on October 21st to promote the drive. And we can take a listen to that as well.
KISS 105.3, good morning. It is the Corey and JV show. We are live at Algonquin Public School this morning. It's been a busy morning. We've been playing games. We're taping teachers to the wall. We're giving away Sudbury Wolves tickets. The students here have been working so hard collecting. A huge thank you to them as we all work together towards one common goal here today.
Speaking of students, we are joined with grade 2 student Emerson. Now, Emerson, your teacher is taped to a wall right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, why is she doing that?
Because if we got 250 items for our winter clothing drive, we would have to
I guess we're having technical difficulties.
Trustees, are you having trouble hearing that?
300 and some.
It's not working at all.
Mrs. Lackman's
Okay,
gonna
we'll
come
pause it.
down.
I hope today.
8:54, so 6 minutes till officially school begins.
Okay, we're sorry for the audio difficulties, but what that was a follow-up to the video you saw, where KISS 105 was speaking to some students about why their teacher was taped to the wall in an effort to promote the clothing drive. So we'll try and get that video or that audio clip out to you, because it's quite enjoyable to hear the energy in the children's voices and the spirit in school that day. We will also just take a second chance here to try the audio clip from Carl Nesbitt. So we'll give that a chance, and maybe Trustee Clement, if you cannot hear that, just wave your hand and we'll pause that as well, but we'll give that a chance too, because it's worth hearing for sure.
Okay.
Seems like audio is a problem for these, so I'm sorry about that. We'll continue with our presentation, but I wanted to share with you also our gratitude to all of our principals and staff who are leading that. And special mention to Principal Chris Bourret, who has been certainly one of the leaders of this initiative, and many people have jumped on board with his encouragement. So thanks to all of our staff, all of our administrators, and special mention to Principal Bourret. Having said that, we wanted to talk just in general about the whole importance of that piece of community and making connections and contributing to things that matter. You know, it broadens our student learning in so many ways. It enhances the quality of life in our communities that we serve and our communities that our families call home. It also gives students that opportunity to contribute, to give back, and we all want to be part of something that's bigger than ourselves. So these are examples of wonderful learning opportunities for our students that serve all of those purposes. It certainly gives us a sense of purpose and makes us feel positive about our contributions. We'll give you another quick example here. Our schools are also creating school community cultures that foster the values that we model and teach one student at a time. So this is our chance to meet this kindness superhero from RLBD Public School. When William saw a classmate who was reluctant to go into the school, he said to her, "Hey, you're in my class, right? Great, let's go in together then." He took her hand and walked her into class. And he's being recognized for showing kindness and being helpful. And I think the smile says it all. Quite fitting he's wearing a Marvel shirt with superheroes on it as a kindness superhero. I can't say it was planned, but it certainly fits. Our school bus drivers are also carrying an important part of our community. They have huge trust for us in transporting our students safely. And just to share, October 17th to 21st was National School Bus Safety Week, an opportunity to educate parents, students, guardians, and the broader public of the importance of school bus safety. As you know, our Student Services Consortium transports over 20,000 students daily in our community on 397 buses. So we recognize the diligent effort of our bus drivers and our operators, and we thank them for maintaining a high degree of safety for the students in our care. This month, we focused on resilience as one of our values, and resources have been shared with schools. There are many ways to consider or define resilience, as you know, but what we do know for sure is that when students have at least one caring adult in their life, they're better able to bounce back during tough times. And this speaks to that importance of good relationships. Our mental, emotional, and physical health contribute to our resilience. Our collective efforts to be kind and patient with each other contribute to our wellness. Sleep, communication, connection, positive attitude, goal setting, expressing emotion through music and art, being physically active, engaging with others in like-minded interests and extracurriculars, taking time out to tune into self. All of these things come to support our resilience and help with the challenges we collectively face. And this is being highlighted in our schools this month. In terms of our priority on mental health and well-being, we create a strong sense of belonging in school environments that are safe and welcoming, contributing to resilience, and resilience in turn contributing to mental health and well-being. I must say that there's lots of great energy in schools, and having a full return to extracurricular activities has had a very positive impact on our student mental health. For these pictures, we want to thank student Mackenzie Carnes of Confederation for sharing these great photos with us. It sure is great to see students participating in a wide range of activities, including music, arts, Reach for the Top, all types of clubs going on, intramurals, and sports. As you know, our annual general meeting of the Parent Involvement Committee on October 18th featured popular author Ann Douglas on Parenting Through the Storm. In her virtual presentation on parenting and mental health, Ann Douglas shared some of her hard-won wisdom about thriving as a family during the toughest of days. Parents appreciated her candor and her vulnerability. They could clearly see that they were not alone. Participants received a handout which provided a summary of her message. We have posted this resource online. Our support staff, including our clerks, technicians, and office staff, participated in a full day of professional learning on October 24th. The day featured a presentation on wellness as well as information sharing on a series of carousels presented by the Human Resources Department. Earlier this month, students taking yoga at Sudbury Secondary School designed gratitude pumpkins as part of their Kindtober intentions. And yes, I did say Kindtober. Activities like this get students thinking about gratitude, which contributes to mental health and well-being. And when we practice gratitude, we see the world in a whole new light. Whether we are grateful for family, friends, schools, teachers, everything we have, we look at life with a glass half full lens, which promotes some positivity. It's also the basis for a growth mindset, which we've talked and presented to you about before, which is so very important for learning. The power of yet we've talked about as well, as in, I haven't grasped that concept yet, or I haven't achieved that yet. It's a powerful word. It speaks to possibilities and the eventual positive outcome. As well, students from Chelmsford Valley District Composite School went on a field trip to Wagon Wheel Ranch recently. It was a perfect day for a wagon ride, picking pumpkins, enjoying hot chocolate, and petting farm animals. Being out in nature and feeling connected to the world around you certainly goes a long way in fostering positive mental health. And a picture says it all, but I will share. Our grade 9 physical education students from LaSalle recently hiked to a popular trail in Killarney. Students experienced some of the most spectacular views Northern Ontario has to offer, combining physical education with mindfulness, promoting self-awareness and self-acceptance, and improving stress management. This enhances student engagement and achievement and creates balance. You might have seen an article recently. Public Health and Districts recently released a report concluding that children are not getting enough exercise. Well, through our previous presentations, I'm happy to share we're a little bit ahead of the curve on this. Certainly, we're well aware of some of the benchmarks that they refer to in terms of maintaining minimal levels of physical activity and literacy. And we know physical activity benefits students in many ways, including their mental, emotional, and social wellness, which leads to increased sense of belonging and contributes to success. And as you know, we've recognized this earlier in our student mental health and also through our priority in having a focus on physical education literacy through our new coordinator, Matt Coots, who presented to you earlier. And you saw his website for K-8 to help with physical education and physical literacy. So if that's a point of interest for you in that article, trustees, I want to let you know that we are well on our way to fulfilling that prior to that announcement. And staff can access these resources to aid in planning and delivery of physical education for students. And we're trying, as always, to maximize opportunities for students to reach their full potential. In our priority of student success and achievement, one of our goals this year is to achieve better student outcomes through the use of real-time data. We've been working with Compass for Success to bring various sets of data together to gain a deeper understanding of how we can support our students. Information Services is currently working with a vendor to complete data validation, correct issues with identifications, and add new students as they register. School administrators did have an opportunity to explore this tool during our recent leadership team meeting held on October 19th, and that's when we hosted our first training session for principals. Daily data updates from our new student information system, such as attendance, report card data, EQAO, and learning skills, will also allow us to track student progress and make evidence-based decisions to improve outcomes through targeted interventions and strategies. It will give us the ability to track students and support their progress over time. As you know, data can be a powerful tool to help us move student achievement forward. So we're hard at work getting that set up. Schools also worked on their school improvement plans during the Professional Activity Day on October 24th. Administrators will be submitting that at the end of the month to their superintendents, and these are very important documents because they'll help outline strategies that schools will use to work on and support and improve student achievement. With our data and our school work efforts in this regard, we hope to be able to track and target interventions and improve results. As you know, and you may have heard, the Ministry of Education is encouraging all students to consider the trades. More than 200 female students from grade 7 and 8 from local schools, such as Llewellyn Park and Confederation and others, gathered at Science North for the For Girls by Girls conference presented by Skills Ontario. The event coincided with the International Day of the Girl on October 11th. Throughout the day, students heard from a variety of speakers with a diverse range of expertise in the trades. They also enjoyed interactive activities and workshops that provided hands-on learning and experiences. The event was supported by the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program that we refer to as OYAP, as part of our ongoing efforts to expose students to opportunities in the trades and the apprenticeship pathways. In addition, 75 students from Llewellyn Park, Espanola, and LaSalle participated in a trades event at Cambrian College. This will be participating this Thursday, October 27th. They'll enjoy hands-on workshops and labs, keynote speakers, and a tour of the college. Students will also have an opportunity to earn Working at Height training certification on site. This added component will bring our students one step closer to a rewarding career in skilled trades should they choose this pathway after graduation. And I want to thank Cambrian College and our staff for making this possible for our students to explore this important sector of our economy. In addition to these events, students in grade 7 to grade 12 across Ontario will be invited to Level Up, a series of engaging and interactive career fairs focused on highlighting many opportunities in the trades. In Sudbury, Level Up will be presented on November 14th and 15th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Steelworkers Hall on Brady Street. The career fair is being hosted by the Ministry of Labor, Immigration, Training, and Skills Development. Skills trades unions, job-ready companies, colleges, and industry employers will be at the fair to help students unlock their future in skilled trades. There will be an evening presentation on Monday, November 14th from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And this is an ideal opportunity for parents and guardians to attend with their children. We've been invited to send 560 students from Rainbow Schools on Tuesday, November 15th. In addition, school activities such as one that took place at Chelmsford had science, technology, and engineering math challenges so you could make objects like tallest towers out of bones and activities that you see in their photos. Also, with regard to transition planning, our transition evening will be held Tuesday, November 15th at 7 p.m. at Cambrian College. Parents, guardians, and students in grades 7 and 8 are invited to this interactive information session designed to help students make key decisions in the transition from elementary school to secondary school. The session will focus on the changes, challenges, and choices students face as they enter high school. A number of topics will be explored, including how to read timetables, how to choose courses and programs, and how to ease into new school environments, what resources are available, skills students need to be successful, and many helpful tips. Information will be provided for all pathways: independent living, work, apprenticeship, college, and university. And in addition to a presentation, those who attend will be able to tour booths and talk to staff about programs such as co-op, specialist high skills major, and more. A few updates on literacy and numeracy. As you know, this is the foundation for all learning. We have made a number of investments in this area this year to supplement our ongoing strategies and interventions. We certainly want to thank the board for all of your support. As I mentioned in the previous update, we have set up 4 Lighthouse classes in the primary division, which will serve as models for best practices for teachers in kindergarten to grade 3. The classes are located at Adamsdale, C.R. Judd, Queen Elizabeth, and Redwood Acres. These classes are supported by regular classroom teachers, supported by literacy coaches and the elementary literacy consultant. And we have a number of goals with this initiative. The classes will build system capacity with high-yield Tier 1 strategies, explicit phonics instruction, intentional balanced literacy, and cross-curricular integration between literacy instruction and content areas like science and technology and social studies. We're making these investments in the youngest grades where they will have the most impact. Students will need that solid foundation on which to build. And we have a few pictures for you. In these photos, you can see how the teacher is providing explicit instruction on the production of sounds. For students who do not see the connection between sounds, syllables, and complete words, this is necessary support to help them on their way to improve literacy. Resources on the walls and at literacy centers reinforce these skills. Lighthouse classes provide a model for educators throughout the system to see best practices in action. Reading Buddy programs are also in full swing. Here you see some students at Levack Public School. And again here at Alexander with students in grade 1 joining students in grade 7 to read in pairs. Reading Buddy programs promote a higher level of interest and engagement in reading and help students of all ages improve their communication and social skills, and in the process, they have fun. The Creative Writing Collective from Llewellyn Park met with author Anne-Marie Mohini for a roundtable talk. They discussed the writing process, the importance of peer support in writing groups, revision strategies, the journey of writing novels, as well as introduction to self-publishing. Students with an award, speaking with an award-nominating author followed students to get a better sense of possibilities and futures in publishing and the unconventional pathways that may lead them there. As you know, the pandemic resulted in interruptions in provincial student assessment for 2 years, but EQAO is now back on track. Provincial results from the 2021-2022 assessments at a provincial level were released on October 20th and shared with school administrators. These results are on the EQA website. The data allows us to measure student achievement over time in grade 3 and 6 in reading, writing, and math, and grade 9 mathematics, and students also write the literacy test in grade 10. Successful completion of the test of the course is a requirement for graduation. We are expecting board and school results from the Ministry of Education soon. This information will be made public on the EQA website on November 3rd. Also, on October 20th, the Ministry of Education announced next steps in Ontario's plan to catch up with a focus on math, reading, and writing. A number of initiatives were announced, including the launch of catch-up payments through a web portal. We expect more information on some of these initiatives, and when we do have more, we'll be pleased to share details at future meetings. But some of the strategies that have been described are math action teams deployed, new digital resources, new universal screening for readers for Ontario's youngest learners, an extension of the government's tutoring support program, and the ministry making commitments to modernize curriculum, focusing on math, science, computer studies, business studies, and tech education to ensure students have skills for jobs, including pathways, again, in the skilled trades. A couple quick updates for you on our priority for environmental education and sustainability. This work continues as we build momentum of our 100% participation in Eco Schools Canada, which we achieved in the last school year. Rainbow Schools kicked off a new year of challenges created by Eco Codes. An Eco Code is a school environmental mission statement that demonstrates its commitment to sustainability. Here's an example of an Eco Code from A.B. Ellis Public School. And here's another example of an Eco Code from Manitoulin Secondary School. As you can see, these Eco Codes are simple yet effective reminders to take care of our planet. For this month's environmental challenge, staff and students were encouraged to take their learning outdoors and connect with nature on Take Me Outside Day on Wednesday, October 19th. Teachers linked classroom curriculum to the outdoors through various subjects including science, math, physical education, and language. Schools receive resources to support learning through a variety of perspectives, and this included books and videos about the importance of uniting with the land to maintain an overall healthy life and an understanding that everyone has a role in taking care of Mother Earth. By living lightly on the land, we minimize our environmental impact, and we help to ensure a sustainable quality of life for future generations. At Alexander Public School, all classes spent a minimum of 1 hour outside, engaging in various outdoor activities. And 3 classes from Walden spent time outdoors on the Naughton Trails. With learning buddies, students walked and explored nature, collected rocks and natural materials, and students made connections to the book, Everyone Needs a Rock by Bird Baylor, and shared their gratitude for nature's many gifts. This year, our Albany school reminds us to be waste conscious for Halloween. Students Janina and Ines have created a video to share their wonderful idea of making costumes from recycled materials. And you'll notice here the importance of culturally responsive and relevant experiences. Let's take a quick look.
Hello. This is our Wixie Halloween costume. I'm Jemima. I'm Ines. We were born in Africa. And we would like to show you that you don't need to buy your Halloween costumes and dress-up costumes because you can make them. We challenge you this year to make your own Halloween costume out of cardboard with stuff out of the recycling. Why do we do this? Because it's waste-free and better for the environment. Happy Halloween!
Also, in keeping with Halloween, Algonquin Road Public School is also promoting sustainable solutions to students with a Halloween costume swap. Students were able to drop off gently used Halloween costumes for a ticket to pick up a new costume, meaning new to them, at a later date. Our work with equity and inclusive education is progressing. As you know, October 3rd to 7th was Census Week in Rainbow Schools, as the Ministry of Education had mandated school boards in Ontario to collect and analyze voluntary demographics perceptual data about students. The census questionnaire was a result of many conversations and consultations that occurred during the 21-22 school year, and I'd like to thank all parents and guardians and students who took time to complete the census. When ready, we'll come back to the board and the future results in the form of aggregated data. And wrapping up, as you know, we continue to share equity posts in our schools and school communities. October 17th was the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. It was a day to commit to recognizing the struggles of people living in poverty, making their voices heard, and to empower children, their families, and communities to eradicate poverty and combat all forms of discrimination worldwide. As we focus on equity and inclusion, our schools continue to work with community partners to support all students to ensure they can fully participate in the school experience. The work that we do is important. With education, children have every opportunity to grow up to become caring and contributing members of society and enjoy a sustainable future. And as we approach Halloween, it's important to think about how we can make this day, which is a fun day for many students, align with our core values. We also want to make sure safety, respect, and responsibility are top of mind. And for this reason, we prepared a simple message for parents and students indicating the following. Participation in any Halloween activities in Rainbow Schools is completely voluntary. Regardless of whether students choose to participate or not, all members of the school community are expected to be respectful of others, respectful of themselves, and the school environment. Members of the school community are also expected to comply with some safety rules, specifically not wearing costumes that include masks that can obscure their vision, muffle speech, or prevent the wearer from being identified, and also not to wear costumes with accessories or props that may promote images of gratuitous violence or cause distraction or disruption to learning activities. Certainly, we ask students participating in Halloween to choose costumes with care, ensuring that they do not offend others, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And finally, we wish all participants a safe and enjoyable evening. So trustees, you see that there's lots of work going on in each one of our priority areas, and there's more that we could share. But in the effort to be brief, this is all I'll share at this point. It does bring my update to a close. Hopefully you'll see our mission, our values and priorities are not standing in isolation, but they're working interconnectedly, and the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And at this point, I'd be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Director. What a report. And to think that this is, I'm sure, just a small portion of what all our schools do. It's nice to see that everything's alive and well. Any questions for the Director? I see an applause. Well done. We have a Trustee Cosmony.
Sorry, just one comment. I'm so pleased that the board has made a commitment to have the sunrise ceremony for September 30th. an ongoing thing. It is such an incredibly spiritual and it's a wonderful event, and I was so glad to take part in it again, and to honor everyone in our community, basically. But I just wanted to point out that it is really such an incredible event, and I'm really glad that the board has decided to embrace that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I see none. Thank you, Director. It was a great report. We'll go now to OSBI refund. Superintendent Bazinet.
Thank you, Chair Clement. This year, our 2022 premium refund from OSBI, which is included in your backup, is valued at $65,622. In prior years, we would take this refund and we would apply it against our insurance premiums as an offset. What is different this year is, as recommended by OSBI, we will be taking our refund and reinvesting in certain key areas of our board's cybersecurity program. OSBI has been working very closely with all of its member boards and have identified some key areas of improvement for each of the boards. So our IT manager, Dave Kitching, is working closely with OSBI to develop a roadmap for ourselves, and we will be taking this premium refund of $65,000 and applying it towards improving our cybersecurity areas. That concludes the update on this item, Chair Clement.
Thank you, Superintendent Bazinet. We'll go to item 3 then, 2021-2022 financial statements. OSBI.
Yes, thank you. Through you, Chair Clement. We are working on the 2021-22 financial statements, which will be presented to the board at the regular board meeting probably in December. What is different this year is the Office of the Auditor General made a recommendation to the Ministry of Education that, given that OSBI is an organization that is funded through school boards, that their financials be reflected on the provincial financial books. Given that the Ministry of Education does not have a direct working and reporting relationship with OSBI, the Ministry of Education has subsequently, through a B memo, instructed all the school boards to reflect a portion of the OSBI financials into our own financial statements. However, currently there is a dispute or disagreement between the major auditing firms who act as the external auditors for many of the boards, in that they disagree with the directive given by the ministry, but also what they really disagree with is with the recommendation from the Auditor General's office. So there are ongoing discussions on this matter. It's not preventing us from moving forward with the completion of our financial statements. However, at this time, we're just unsure as to what the final impact will be. There is still a bit of time before these statements are finalized, and once we know what we need to do to be compliant with the ministry and also work with our external auditors, we'll be in a better position to advise the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. We'll go to 4, Radiant to
Question,
Finance.
excuse me, Chair Clement, question from Trustee Cosmerly.
Sorry, I gotta lift my head once in a while. Trustee Cosmerly.
Sorry, just one comment. This particular matter that Superintendent Bazinet has raised was raised at the last OPSPA meeting that I went to. OPSPA is very opposed to the direction that's been provided by the Auditor General, and we had a lengthy discussion about it. OPSPA, I believe, has written a letter to the province to identify its concerns with the direction from the Auditor General. And apparently the 6 large auditing firms in Ontario have also sent complaints, letters of complaint to the province as well. So I just wanted to bring that up as well, because as Superintendent Bazinet said, there's a lot of mixed feelings, I guess, about the whole reporting of the OSB funds being included in the financial statements from boards. I just wanted that raised.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? I see none. Superintendent, we go right to finance.
Thank you. Through you, Chair Clement. Under item 4, under finance, there are 2 components. One is the honorarium for trustees, the actual calculations for the upcoming term. It is included in your backup. And you will see that there is a slight increase for the term that will be beginning on November 15th as a result of an increase in the enrollment component. The base component has not changed. The second component of this item is a board motion for the board's consideration. Given that it is an election year and the start of a new term, then the motion reads that the Board of Trustees procedure, trustee honoraria, be approved for the 2022-2026 term of office. Thank you.
Thank you. For that, I need a mover, please. I see Trustee Morrison. And a seconder, please. Someone? Trustee Cosmerly. Any questions on this motion? I see none. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement,
In favor.
Trustee Dubosky,
In favor.
Trustee Dewar,
In favor.
Trustee Gibson,
In favor.
Trustee Unda,
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly,
In favor?
Trustee Morrison,
In favor?
Trustee St. Jean, Trustee Stringer,
In favor.
Student Trustee Kunze,
In favor.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
No mic, Bob.
I did it again. Superintendent Bazinet, trustees expenditures 2021-2022.
Thank you. Through you, Chair Clement. Included in your package is the report on trustee expenditures for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. And you will notice that it follows the same format as previous years. We've added at the bottom of the page quite a few different little asterisks of notations to highlight some of the changes that did occur as a result to the expenditures, and perhaps just comment on the fact that the row for the student trustees, you will see under the conferences amount, there's an amount of $9,233. The reason that is high compared to other trustees is the fact that not only does it encompass the expenses for the elected student trustees, but at the May or the spring conference, we also send the incoming trustees. So therefore, the cost of attending that conference is slightly higher because we have more than just our student trustees that sit at our board table attending. The overall expense for the entire year, bottom right-hand corner, $117,321 is well below the funding amount of roughly $135,000 for the government's allocation under the GSNs. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Bazinet. Any questions for the superintendent? So we move on then to request for leave of absence. I don't think we have anybody absent tonight. Director's remarks.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I'll keep my comments brief as I had a lengthy presentation this evening. This month, I, however, would like to express our gratitude to our school office staff. As you know, we've been on a journey through the new student information system we've used for many years. It was bought out and discontinued, and as a result, we shifted to Aspen. And I just want to recognize our school office staff who've taken this challenge on and continue to work incredibly hard. Change on this scale does take time and patience, as we know, but without the dedication, talent, tenacity, and resilience of our school office staff, we wouldn't be operating at our current level. We are currently completed a round of ONSIS reporting for the ministry that was required. So I just think it's fitting today to take a moment to acknowledge these heroes in our school offices each day and thank them for their work that they do each and every day. I'd also like to thank all of you as the Board of Trustees for your ongoing support and leadership, not only today, but over the past 4 years. It's essential that our continued efforts our work together to support our students and staff is so very important. And we're moving forward with our priorities, and I hope you see evidence of that in my updates. But I want to thank you all for your leadership and your stewardship of the board. I want to thank you for your positive energy, for your teamwork, for your focus on students. Your commitment to student achievement is so vital to our success, and it's so greatly appreciated by Executive Council, our administrators, and our staff. So I'll conclude by saying not only thank you to all of you, but thank you to all of our staff for continuing to be difference makers in the lives of our students. We're so grateful for the work that our staff does each and every day. And with that, I'll conclude my comments for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. And we sure do appreciate our staff. That's for sure. We have the best of the best. OSPA Director, Trustee Cosmerly.
Thank you. I attended an OPSPA Board of Directors meeting in Toronto, September 30th and October 1st. So rather than going through everything that we discussed, because we discussed a lot, anyone who's interested can check out the detailed summary of the meeting provided by OPSPA in the October 18th OPSPA Connects that we all receive. There's only one piece that I found they didn't mention, and that's regarding the PES, Public Education Symposium, which will be held in January. We should be receiving registration information in November. The theme for PES will be Optimism and Opportunity, and Chief Cadmus Delorme will be a keynote speaker. And the usual PES format will be followed, which means there'll be a pre-event on the Thursday. I believe it's usually the Thursday, it's been so long. And then followed by 2 days of conference. Also on the topic of the September 30th, October 1st meeting, just to let trustees know, I shared the information that was communicated in our in-camera session with our Labor Relations Committee. The next Board of Directors meeting will be November 27th in Toronto, followed by a day of advocacy at Queen's Park on November 28th, and I will be attending both events. This is my last item. I have received a survey from OSPA regarding the 2023-2024 GSNs, and I forwarded it to our director for feedback. I expect to forward our comments to OPSPA prior to their October 31st deadline. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmerly. Now we go to Student Trustees Kunze and Trudeau. Do you have good news for us?
Always. Thank you, and through you, Chair Clement. We've had a pretty good month since our last board meeting within Senate and just, with our own advocacy as well. Darcy and I are really happy with what the Senate's been doing, so we figured we'd start off a little bit with that. So currently this month, we have a couple schools that are working on Halloween for Hunger food drives, where they're collecting food to donate to local food banks. So that's really exciting. It's something that MSS has been doing for a while, and now we're getting to incorporate it into other schools, which is awesome. Coming up, we have a Senate meeting, and we're going to be starting to do some of the planning stages for our Stand Up, Speak Out Leadership Conference, which will be in May. which should be good. The other thing is Darcy and I had the pleasure of getting to attend the fall general meeting for OSTA, which is the Ontario Student Trustee Association. It was a really great conference. We had a lot of opportunities to have really great presentations. We had some by OFIA. We had the OBSPA director come in and speak with us. We also had a chance to meet the Honorable Stephen Lecce and hear from him, as well as ask some questions. And of course, we had a lot of professional development, which was really valuable to us on specifically connecting with the student body. Darcy and I are hoping to actually go out and do some school visits to promote Student Senate as well as student leadership within our schools and show them where student leadership can get them, as well as, empower the leaders that we have already that are existing. Darcy?
Hello. We are currently gonna, introduce a new project that we're gonna work on with the Student Senate, and they're going to consist of mental health awareness posts, because mental health is it is very important, and a lot of students still don't know about all the resources that are out there and places where they can reach out. So we would just like to bring more awareness to that. Thank you.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we've found that our social media platform has been growing this year, which is really awesome. It allows us to reach out to a lot more students, especially being a really spread out board. So that's really awesome, and it gives us a good platform to connect the senators and the students over another topic. And that's pretty much all from us.
That's great information. Thank you very much. I especially like the food banks. The food banks right now are screaming for help. So that's nice to see. Thank you very much. We're getting to trustees' remarks. Does anybody have good stories for us? Trustee Cosmony.
Sorry, I just wanted to share quickly that conferences are now up and running with COVID hopefully winding down, hopefully. And the Ontario CEC, which is Council for Exceptional Children, is holding its annual special education conference in Toronto, December the 2nd to the 3rd. This is an excellent conference if anyone from the board is interested in attending. Our board has presented a number of times at this conference, and I've attended, I think, pretty much every year that they've held it. So if anyone is interested in special education, I know there would have to be a motion from the board to pay for expenses, but just wanted to let people know that conference is going ahead in Toronto, December 2nd and 3rd, and it's at the Marriott Hotel downtown. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that I see? Trustee Morrison.
Thank you, Chair. My comments will be very brief. I've had a lot more that I was planning on saying, but given the very comprehensive and thorough presentation that was already been given by Director Bourget on basically the school year update, it's eliminated about 90% of my comments, Bruce, and that's okay. But the first thing I wanted to say was that I'm really appreciative of basically the information sharing that's been going on from the schools. That's the first thing I want to say. And I'm talking about the postings on various social media platforms. I really appreciate that. And I don't want to leave that unsaid, because I'm one of the ones that's the way I've been able to keep up with what's happening in the schools. And if the staff didn't take the time to do that and to upload that information, I wouldn't be aware, neither would my fellow trustees. And it also helps with community engagement, because it's making sure that the community is also aware and it's accessible to them on what's happening in schools. So I wanted to make sure that staff were thanked for that. I want to thank you again, Director Bourget, for your comprehensive updates. They're really full of information, and there's a lot of things. I may have some follow-up questions after. For example, I'm looking for some additional information on the recovery program, to fill in the learning gaps as that's been caused by COVID and basically virtual schooling versus in-person schooling. The area in particular is around math, and I'm sure we've all read all the news stories that there's been a huge gap, not just in Canada, but in the States, on math scores and math performance. So I'm very curious at upcoming board meetings to hear particularly about what we're doing to support math recovery. Thank you. I also want to say how encouraged I am by all the very creative partnership activities that have been going on in schools, and some of that relates. And thank you, Jocelyn, and thank you, Darcy. I just want to build on the comments of the student trustees. But because of these social media posts, for example, that allows me personally at least to stay connected, I'm at least aware of some of the things that are going on, some of the really creative partnerships that have been put in place to really provide enhanced learning opportunities for students. And that involves sometimes the private sector, sometimes it's other public sector organizations, but that takes staff and commitment of both staff and students usually to make that happen. So I want to thank people for those efforts because they're really noticeable. Thank you. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that I just wanted to also thank the PIC committee for that wonderful meeting that occurred, and I attended that presentation, and I really I've enjoyed all the presentations, and I have to say I consider the PIC meetings, for example, especially when they have wonderful guest speakers, is my free opportunity for PD. So I want to thank the PIC committee for putting that on, and I really loved Ann Douglas's presentation, and of all the 1,000 wonderful tidbits she shared, stories and anecdotes and real life experiences, the one statement that really stuck in my mind, probably because it's clear and concise and easy to communicate, is that she told all parents to please remember your calmness is your superpower. And I love that line. So that's one that easily stayed in there, and I'm going to continue to use it. So thank you, Chair Kamal. Oh, one last thing, if I could. Sorry, Chair Kamal, I apologize. I didn't have this written down, and I obviously have been editing my mental list since I heard the wonderful presentations from our director and our student trustees. But I also wanted to thank everybody who ran for public office in the election. And I want to congratulate all the successful candidates, both trustee and others. Thank you for your commitment to public education and in our case, Rainbow students. I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you very much. And I wanted to end my statement by just thanking Margaret Stringer, my colleague, Margaret Stringer, for her contribution to Rainbow Board these several years. Thank you, Margaret. You did make a difference, and you played an integral part in the establishment, particularly of our strategic directions and priority setting for the next several years. So thank you, Margaret, for your service. Thanks, Bob.
Oh, thank you. Trustee Doer, then Trustee Stringer.
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful presentation, Dina. You've covered so much of what I've been feeling and thinking, and the reports from both Director Bourget and from our student trustees were so inspiring. And but I have another little one that I'd like to bring up, and that is I listened to Marcus Schwabe on Morning North radio program in the mornings, and he started off a program by saying, who wants to play soccer in the winter? A bubble in Sudbury is helping make that happen, and it's boosting the number of soccer players in the city. So I'd like to take a moment tonight to acknowledge the work that Rainbow District School Board did when we actually built and supported the building of the Lancer Doma at LaSalle Secondary School. You know, it was a vision that was brought up from administration, and we have to thank the initiative of the staff and the support of the trustees at the time who enabled this to become a reality, so that our young people, not only in our schools, especially at LaSalle, they make good use of it, but also the many young people right throughout the district that get a chance to play sports and soccer and other sports in the fall, winter, and spring. And I really related to this particular project to the words of Director Bourget when he talked about the importance of phys ed and of physical activity. And we know that's one part of a student's life that just doesn't do well when we have to provide education remotely. That's a huge piece that is missing. So thank you very much. And if you want to, you can go to the site and you can hear what was said about the dome. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Dewar. Yeah, I was at LaSalle the other day for academic awards, and I moseyed on over to the dome. And I hadn't been there, I bet you, I guess over 2 years, and they hadn't been finished at the time. But now the whole front end is finished, entrance, washrooms, locker rooms. What a facility. It is just wonderful to see. Trustee Stringer, and then Trustee DeBussige.
Thank you, Chair Claude. As a result of Monday's election results, voters of Manitoulin have decided they're looking for a change. Dina, you didn't make this easy.
Sorry, Margaret, but it's sincerely said and sincerely meant. So good luck. And thank you.
My colleague trustees, I want you to know it's been a real honor working with such a capable and dedicated team these past 4 years. I'm very proud of the work of this board and all of our outstanding staff. I want to wish Lisa Corbier-Addison all the best in her new role as trustee with Rainbow District School Board. Thanks.
Thank you, Margaret. I'll save my comments for my comments. Trustee DeBussige.
Thank you, Chair Clement. First and foremost, I do want to acknowledge and honor and lift up our outgoing trustees, both Margaret and Carrie. I truly am humbled and am very proud to have been able to work with both of you, as well as with all trustees. And I know we're going to continue to work together moving forward, but I do want to take that moment to commend your dedication, both to the board meeting and the leadership role, but also in support of the committees, to the support of our staff and students, and to all of the community partners as well that I know we've supported throughout the last term. I do know that I've grown as a result of your wisdom and the conversations had, and listening to the commentary around this table that has certainly assisted myself as well in this role, and to be able to work together collaboratively, healthy, to even grow ourselves in this leadership role, to accept and acknowledge healthy debate, coming to a decision through a democratic process, but allowing all voices to be heard. And I truly respect that and appreciate it. Margaret, I do know that your heart is always first and foremost with the children. That has been your entire life. And I do also know that you're also a grandmother. And I do know that this is not the last time we're going to see you or hear from you. I know that even throughout your steps in life, that you'll always be part of Rainbow District School Board in some way, shape, or form. And Carrie, your dedication to those with special needs, to the children who need the additional support and love and compassion that I believe and have seen you lead through the various committee work and your discussions around this table. And I truly, I'm truly honored to have sat with you both. And I know that as a team, we're going to miss you. Maybe we can hang up some jerseys or something with your names on it. But I do think that your work, your dedication has grown the Rainbow District School Board. And to that, I'm truly and eternally grateful for your love for all students. And I do hope to see you around again and your participation as well going forward. I'd also like to acknowledge our board in being a partner, a community partner for the Sudbury Walk for Down Syndrome Awareness. I truly feel that these types of awareness initiatives help grow our community as a whole, both in Sudbury and on Manitoulin. And I'm uplifted to hear from our student trustees that these types of events and other events will be moving along with all schools across the area that Rainbow District School Board serves. So I really appreciate the awareness to the less privileged children and to their families who support them each and every day. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and I have the utmost respect. All of our children have amazing gifts, no matter where they come from, where they're from, what they do. Our children are our greatest teachers, and I continue to see that acknowledgement by this board that we continue to be taught by our children. And lastly, I'd just like to share from a First Nations perspective, the work being done at the First Nation Advisory Committee through the leadership of Kathy Dolkeis, and huge support by our Director of Education, Bruce Bourget. I'm grateful that the Rainbow District School Board is continuing on with an education service agreement with our First Nations to continue to build the relationships between our First Nation communities and to build that trust and relationship that our communities have to the board, to really trust the school board in helping to educate our children and taking care of them. And so I just want to, provide the trustees with advance notice that the plans are to, again, have a ceremony around that in the future as we work with the communities and in discussions with the First Nation chiefs who, on behalf of their communities and their councils, are extremely grateful for that step Rainbow District School Board is taking and continues to take. So with that, I'll say Chimigwech, and again, I lift up Carrie St. John and Margaret Stringer, and no words can really fully describe how eternally we are also grateful for your contributions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see Trustee Morrison.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Very briefly, just a supplementary comment I just want to say. I want to add my thanks to Trustee Dabowski, to Trustee St. Jean. I didn't mean to omit you from my thanks, Carrie. I was just thinking about election results. So my apologies to you, Carrie. Thank you for your contribution to Rainbow Board and Rainbow students. Thank you. And the last thing I wondered if I could ask you, Chair Clement, do we know I could ask directly of Trustee Dabowski, but I'm just wondering, do we know the status of our First Nations trustee? Has the election occurred? Did I also omit thanking and congratulating Linda for an appointment?
Yes, from what we understand, she has been appointed.
Okay, congratulations, Trustee Dabowski. We're very, very appreciative. We're very glad that we have you. Thank you for your willingness to continue to serve.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trustee Clement. Chair Clement, my apologies. I appreciate you.
I'm still a trustee. Thank you very much. If we don't see anybody else here, we'll go right into the chair's comments. Yes, the municipal elections was held yesterday, October 24th. I would like to thank all the trustees for your contribution to the Rainbow District School Board over the past 4 years. Many of you will continue in your respective roles, either through acclamation or election. We will also be welcoming some new trustees to the board. Our swearing-in ceremony will be held Tuesday, October 15th, with Madam Justice Patricia Hennessy administering the oath of office.
I think you meant November 15th, Chair Clement.
What we got here? November 15th. What did I say?
You said October, but I think we all knew. My apologies.
There we go. I have it right here. I read it wrong. And also, I would like to thank Margaret Stringer for her dedication and Carrie St. Jean for the past 4 years. It was never a doubt that your dedication was always about children. And we want to thank you, myself and the board, for being part of our board. We will miss you. And even more still, you're even better people that got to know you over the years. You're even nicer people than just being a trustee, we get to know you a little bit. And I'm sure you'll be glad to get back to your families and being a grandmother. I know, Margaret, that is a busy thing. I had them enough this summer. They're a busy bunch. So you take care. Strategic directions. I would like to thank our Director of Education, Bruce Burgett, for demonstrating to us and to the communities that we serve how our vision, mission, values, and priorities are being implemented. It is gratifying to see that progress is being made in all priority areas, and I want to thank staff for their hard work on behalf of the students. It is also interesting to see the various components of our strategic directions coming together toward a common goal. Preparing students to become lifelong learners, achieving their full potential as confident, caring members of society. Let's continue to build on that momentum. Take our kids to work day. Back this year is Take Our Kids to Work Day in person. Grade 9 students in Rainbow Schools will spend the day at work showing a parent, relative, friend, volunteer post on Wednesday, November 2nd. Now it's in its 28th year, the Take Our Kids to Work program provides students in grade 9 with the opportunity to experience and learn about the world of work as they begin to explore possible career paths. Treaty Recognition Week. Staff and students in Rainbow Schools will continue to learn about treaty rights and relationship during Treaty Recognition Week from November 6th to the 12th. Rainbow District School Board has partnered with the Robinson Huron Treaty Organization for a day of education on Wednesday, November the 9th. Remembrance Day. Rainbow Schools will mark Remembrance Day on November 11th. Espanola will be doing that on the 10th. They invited me to their Remembrance Day celebrations. A list of school-based activities will be posted on the board website. Making the transition from grade 8 to grade 9. A friendly reminder that making the transition, finding your way to grade 8 to grade 9 will take place on Tuesday, November the 15th at 7 p.m. at Cameron College. All students are welcome to participate along with their parents and guardians, regardless of which elementary school they currently attend. Secondary information nights. Secondary schools will begin hosting in-person information nights through February. The first is Lively District School Board, or Lively District School on November 30th at 6 p.m. Check the rainbowschools.ca for a complete list of schools, dates, and times. Days of Significance. Rainbow District School continues to highlight and celebrate days of significance and events on its Facebook page. And finally, my quote of the night, and I'm doing a lot of Chinese quotes lately. They make sense to me. If you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. That's me. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. Good luck with that. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone else. Thank you very much, everyone. And I hope you all have a, oh, hang on, we got to go back to finish it up. Hang on. Yes. We go to G, information proposals, reports from officials and staff. Audit Committee minutes, June 20th, are in your minutes. Special Education Advisory Committee minutes are there from September 14th. Number 2, non-staff communications. OSPA 2022-2023 Central Bargaining Invoice dated September 1st, 2022. Future meetings are there for you to peruse. Any of these committees that you're on, please put them down, and there's your future meetings. And we'll see you all at the next meeting, which will be our inaugural meeting. Hope to see you all there. We now have a motion that we know now adjourn. I need a mover, please. Trustee Morrison. Just a raise of hands. No, just trustee Jean, are you seconding you? Okay, we'll use you a second. Your last comment. You're seconding the motion. Okay, everybody, all in favor? Just raise your hand. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next time.